All right, so what if you could translate a feeling? I don't mean just from one language to another, but taking a pure idea, a whole philosophy even, and turning it directly into sound. Well, that's exactly what we're doing today. We're going to explore how this concept of crystal silence gets transformed, energy for energy, into a piece of music.
So yeah, this is our mission. We're taking this really abstract idea from a fictional philosophy and watching it become music. We're literally going from pure thought to a living, breathing, sonic experience. It's a pretty cool journey.
Okay, so it all kicks off with this one core concept, crystal silence. And to really get how this becomes music, we have to understand that this is so much more than just the absence of noise. That's the first rule right there. In the Arreqqana philosophy, where this whole idea comes from, silence isn't empty. It's actually an active state. It's a presence. It's a space that's been intentionally created and held. This really breaks it down for us. You know, it's not the silence of an empty room we're talking about. Think about the intentional quiet of someone who commands attention without ever needing to raise their voice. It's an active kind of stillness, a presence you can literally feel in the air.
I love this way of putting it. Think of it like a coiled spring, or maybe that supercharged calm right before a thunderstorm. All the energy is there. It's contained, it's controlled, and it's powerful because it's not being wildly thrown around. So that's the big takeaway. This kind of silence is power.
So how do you take a philosophy like that and build it into an actual language? How do you capture such a specific, nuanced idea in just a few words? Well, the Arreqqana language has some really elegant ways to do exactly that. Okay, so the most formal, ceremonial phrase is Hiara Sele Nedor Nakia. Let's look at how it's built, because this is cool. Hiara is perception, like a focused gaze. Sele means a crystal clear stillness. And my favorite part is Nedor Nakia, which basically translates to a flame that's been softened into a quiet presence. It's pure power just held perfectly still.
And you can see how the language itself shifts the energy. The simple version, Sela Kiara, feels very zen, right? Clear stillness of awareness. But then you get the dark velvet version, and it completely changes the vibe. The crystal holds the gaze, and silence holds the power. All of a sudden, it's not just a passive state of being. It's an active, powerful act of control.
Okay, so we've got the philosophy, we've got the language. The next big question is, how do you turn all of that feeling into music? We need to build a sonic space, a kind of temple of sound that actually feels like crystal silence.
The genre they landed on is this amazing hybrid, dark velvet crossed with Templewave 94. I mean, just from the name alone, you can already imagine the atmosphere, can't you? It's all designed to be slow, super hypnotic, and feel almost sacred, like you're walking through some ancient silent place.
And here are the ingredients, the actual sound palette. The tempo is set to 72 BPM, which is right around a resting heartbeat. The kick drum copies that. It's this deep, spaced-out thud. The bass is so low it's more of a feeling in your chest than something you actually hear. You've got these wide, airy synth pads that sound like they're in a cathedral. And the vocal? It's a close, breathy whisper. Every single element was chosen to create that sense of active, intimate stillness.
The production tricks they use push this even further. The background vocals are slightly detuned, which gives everything this hazy, dreamlike quality. The reverb is super long and wide, creating the illusion that you're in this massive temple. And, maybe most importantly, the track uses these intentional gaps of total silence between lines. It's not about filling every second with sound, it's about using silence itself to build that controlled tension.
All right, let's talk lyrics. How do the actual words sung over this soundscape manage to capture that original philosophy? Well, they basically act as a guide into the feeling.
This line from the first verse is just perfect. See, it's not about shouting to get attention. It's about a presence that's so subtle, so soft, it just pulls you in without you even noticing. It's this gentle, inescapable draw. And then you get to the chorus and boom, there's the direct connection. Stillness like a diamond. It's clear, it's strong, it's precious. And that follow-up, watch how I seal it, that really drives home that this stillness isn't an accident. It's a deliberate, controlled act of sealing that energy.
You know, this line from the bridge might just be the most direct summary of the entire philosophy. It's the absolute essence of active stillness. You're not pushing your energy out into the world. Instead, you're creating a field so compelling that energy is drawn to you. You just let it come.
Now for the final step in this whole translation process, the song's hook gets transformed one last time. It moves beyond English and becomes this vibrational chant in the Arreqqana language itself.
And this is what you hear in the final track. It's hypnotic, it's a little mysterious. Selekayara nulle cum. It's just a pure expression of that energy, using the very language that we broke down earlier.
But here's what that chant really means, energetically speaking. Crystal awareness, everything aligns. Soft and flame, you are in control. So the chant isn't just a lyric, it's an affirmation. It's a declaration of that quiet power we've been exploring this whole time.
So when you put it all together, the philosophy, the sound, the lyrics, the chant, what's the final feeling it's all designed to create? Well, the first layer is this feeling of being perceived, right? A presence you can't see, but you can absolutely feel.
And then it builds on that. It's the sensation of being influenced, of kind of moving in a certain direction, not because someone told you to, but because the space itself just seems to be guiding you. It's totally intuitive.
And at last, you get this. The feeling of being drawn into this quiet, powerful energy field so naturally that you don't even think about resisting. You just align with it. And that is the successful translation of crystal silence from an idea into a feeling.
Which, of course, leaves us with one last thought to chew on. If silence isn't just an empty space but a form of controlled, intentional energy, what are you creating with yours?